Good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock. This is the start of the Global Changes webinar. My name is Matt. I'm going to be presenting for you today a new voice, hopefully a welcome one. At the end of the webinar, there will be a chance for you to leave feedback, so if you could, that would be wonderful. Now, as well as my voice, we are joined today by Jackie, who's going to be helping out with the questions. So if you do have any questions, just fire them across. If we can't get to all of the questions by the end of the session, don't worry, we will be following up with emails afterwards. So global changes, what are we going to be doing today? So we're going to be doing an introduction to global changes, as you may have guessed from the slide in front of you. Some of you may have used this before and just want a refresher in its capabilities. Some might be completely new to it. So we're going to go into a little bit of detail about what it is and what it does at first. And then I think the best thing to do is move into the demonstration. I'm going to be showing you how and where to access the Global Changes wizard, and then moving on to how to use some of its functionality. Now, in my demonstrations, we're going to be looking at two of the main areas that people use, which is increasing the credit limit and reducing the cost of multiple product records all at once. After that, we'll take a glance at what's coming up next. And I'm going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks as well in the slides in order to make the best of this functionality that we have. Now, housekeeping wise, if you've been here before, you'll obviously know the rules. If not, here they are. So your mics are muted, so don't worry if you need to cough or sneeze, you will not interrupt anything whatsoever. We cannot and will not hear you. The message icon is there for you to submit any questions that you have. Again, Jackie's going to be on hand to help me answer those. So please use that function as much as you possibly can. Any questions are more than welcome. There's also a handout that's been preloaded, so please download that now if you can, just by simply clicking on it. If not, it's going to be available throughout the webinar and on our website afterwards as well. Today's webinar could last up to 35 minutes. It is down as what we call a quick learn. So we may take the full 35 minutes, but we may be able to give you some time back, depending on the questions that come in. So a nice quick session for you all today in the lead up to Christmas. So without further ado, let's have a look. Now, global changes, what are they? Now, global changes gives you the ability to amend multiple records simultaneously, saving you precious time and effort, which is what Sage is all about, saving you time and effort so you can put your focus into more important things, i.e. running your business and looking at your figures. Now, you can view the changes before you accept them. This is basically give you the confidence that you're making the right changes to the right records with the right figures. So again, nice, quick and easy. It's very easily accessible in the program as well. It's not hard to find. It's quite literally 2 clicks of a button once you've logged into your Sage 50 accounts. So within global changes, what can be adjusted? Well, as that previous slide may have given you a hint from the picture, these are the records that can be adjusted. Credit limits of your suppliers and your customers. Around certain times of year, you might want to give them a boost in their credit limits to encourage them to spend more. You may have made that business decision that you want to allow people to have a higher credit limit so that when it comes down to it, you can sell more product, sell more stock, so they can bulk buy. You can also change their year-to-date turnover figure. Within the product, it's a bit more expansive. So you can alter the sales price, purchase price. Again, this could be seasonal or it could be clearance of items. It's a great tool to use in these instances, and through the demonstration, I shall show you that. And in professional and standard variant of Sage 50, you've also going to have the ability to change your stock reorder level quantities. Quite brilliantly, you can also do custom discounts as well. This could tie into seasonal discounts or volume discounts for a group of selected customers. Again, how complex you get with it is completely up to you. I'll just give you the basic tools so you know what adjustments you can make, essentially. So into the demonstration, we're going to focus on 2 areas. Okay, as I said at the start of the webinar, we're going to look at credit limit changes, product discounting. First, I'll show you how to access the global changes. So I'm just going to switch my Sage 50 across now to my other screen. So if you could just bear with me just a quick second. You should hopefully all be able to see my 50 accounts there. So this is version 31, which I hope you all have. And once you've logged in, you would simply go to Tools, Global Changes. I wasn't telling fibs when I said it was easy. That's how quick and easy it is to access this area. Once you've clicked on Tools and Global Changes, you'll be presented with the Global Changes box. Now, what's important about the Global Changes box is on the left-hand side, you've got almost a roadmap. 1, 2, 3, 4, to guide you through the journey, through the wizard of what you can and can't do, essentially. So the first example, what we're going to be doing is changing credit limits. Now, let's say, as I mentioned before, we've made a business decision to increase credit limits over a certain time of year for certain customers who have proven to have a good history with credit and paying on time. I would open up Global Changes Wizard, select Customer Credit Limits, and then I would click Next. We then are taken to section 2, which is Select Item, and this is where I get to pick those customers from the list. So let's just say I'm going to pick A1 Designs, Bob's Building Supplies, and good old Fred Bryant. Now these are the 3 that I want to increase. Once I've made that selection, I can double check and see if there's anybody else by scrolling up and down, but I'm pretty confident it's just these 3. Again, you've got the swap and the clear. We all know those from the main screen. Swap and select all, clear would clear the selections that we've made. But again, I am happy with these 3. I would then click Next. Now this is where you can get as complex or as intricate as you like with what you want to do. I'm going to keep it quite standard for today's webinar. But let's say I want to increase everybody's credit limit by 25%. I would click on the type of change and it will present me with these options. I can add an amount. So I could say I'm going to increase it by £100, £1,000, £10,000, whatever. I can subtract, again, reduce if I wanted to, multiply, divide. I can increase by percentage, decrease by percentage, or I could just tell Sage, this is what I want the credit limit to be. I'm going to increase by percentage. So I would select, and then in here, I'm just going to increase by 25%. Rounding direction, again, not to give you a maths lesson, but you can round up to the nearest or you can round down to. Decimal places, you've got your pounds, 1/10 of a pound, and your pence at the end. So it's up to you how intricate you get here. I'm going to leave it as standard, just 2 decimal places. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Next again. And in the next screen, in Review Items, the last part of the journey, it's going to show me the account, the name, their current credit limit, and the new value of their credit limit. Now, what I'm in this demonstration going to say is that, hang on a minute, after reviewing this, Fred didn't even have a credit limit. But my accounts and finance team have said that everybody is allowed up to £3,000 at this time of year, and that's what it's been approved for. So instead of me trying to calculate what the increase is going to be, and especially I wouldn't be able to do that with Fred because he doesn't have one, I would simply click back, go back to the type of change, and this is where I'm going to use that give figure. And I'm going to say, right, okay, everybody was allowed 3,000 on that list. That is what they're going to get. Change the value. Absolutely happy with that. And as you can see, when I click next again, the existing value is still there, but now the new value is more uniformed. Everybody has 3,000 there. So from A1 Designs, down to Bob, down to Fred. Now I've got another couple of options here, as you can see in the screen. I've got print and send to Excel. These are quite handy. So if I wanted to send the changes that I've made in an email to my finance department, just to say, yep, these are the changes you said I could make. Here's the evidence that I've done it. Or here's an Excel spreadsheet. I want to save it just for records. You would put a tick in these boxes, and that's exactly what it would do. So again, if you wanted to share that kind of information, 2 great options for you there. But let's say I'm happy with that all now. I'm just going to click Post. These changes cannot be reversed. Are you sure you wish to continue? Now, Sage is telling you the truth here, because once you click yes, you can't just click back and undo what you have done. However, you can do another global change and reduce the amount again. So let's say, again, it's a temporary increase in the credit limit. You would click yes. Absolutely happy with that. But then let's say it's now January, February. We want to go back to what the credit limits previously were. It's going to be a bit more manual calculation, But you do the same process again. Highlight customer credit limits, select the customers involved, click next. At this time, you might say, right, okay, we're going to just give another figure. And we're going to say we're going to put everybody back to 1,500. Click next. And you can see the existing value 3,000 that we just changed. We're going to put it back to there. So you can't reverse the changes that you've just made, but you can counteract them, counterbalance them later on. So hopefully that made sense there. Any questions? Please fire them in as we're going through this. I'm just going to switch back to my slides for you. So as you can see, what we did there is we were changing credit limits. The slide will show you the changes that can be applied to selected customer or supplier records. Again, what you can do for customers, you can do for suppliers in this instance. Add amount, subtract amount, multiply by the amount, divide by the amount, increase, decrease by percentage, or basically just tell Sage, this is the change that I want to make. Again, these slides are available and the handout is available. If you just click on download, you will have a copy of these as well. So let's move back into demonstration, back to Sage 50, because we're going to move to the second demonstration, which is discounting products. Again, could be seasonal. It could be the fact that you're just getting rid of some lines, but let's have a look and we'll have a look and see what the demonstration says. Okay. Superb. And we're back. Sorry, my computer was just running a little bit slow there, but we're all okay. So again, just like before, I'm going to try and discount some products now, a wider range, instead of doing it individually by clicking on products and services and then going through edit or edit up here. I want to do it all at once. So I'm going to go to tools, global changes, and I'm going to change my sales price. Now, in this scenario, the reason I'm doing this is I am going to be stopping selling certain types of product. So when you select product, you'll notice there, different to the customer credit limits, when you do sales price, you're presented with two options here, item and category. You could either select individual items to reduce, but you may have a vast list. If you have gone through the trouble or the time and effort to categorize your products, we've got a webinar on that and instructions on our website. You can then just say, right, actually, we're going to stop selling paper products now in this demonstration. So I'm going to reduce all my paper products. You've already put them into a category, so you would literally just select that category. World's going digital. We're going to stop selling as much, so I want to reduce all my paper products. So you would select that in the category, and you click next. And again, it's up to you how you discount these products and what you want to use. For me, if you were to give a figure and reduce everything to £1, I'll just do this as an example. You may find that certain items are incredibly cheap now. Your customers would love it, obviously, but it might not be the change that you want to make. So more common in this kind of area is to decrease by percentage. So you might say all my paper products, because of their end of line, I'm not going to be stocking them all. I'm reducing by 50%. Again, I'm going to go to the 2 decimal places and I'm going to click next. And as you can see, everything now is reduced by 50%. Handily, we've got the print and send to Excel again. So this is where you could print this information, send it to Excel, and you could email this out to your customers to say, look, everybody, look how cheap our products are going to be. We're end of lining this, or it's that time of year again. This is the stock, and this is the percentage, what it was and what it is going to be. Or you could just keep it for your own record and say, yeah, this time of year, this is what we did, and there's the evidence for it. So this is changing a whole category at a click of a button, rather than going into everything individually and navigating to it individually as well. Once you're happy with the changes, which I very much am, I'm going to click post. Again, these changes can't be reversed, but as I explained before, same rules apply if you did want to reset them. Use global changes again or go through individually, it's completely up to you. We would click yes, absolutely happy with that. And that's how easy it is in order to adjust multiple records, even with products within Sage. Another little tip that there is as well, I'm going to go back to the slides in a moment. I'm just going to quickly show you this. You may have noticed it. At the bottom of this list, when you open global changes, you've got discount A, B, C, D, and E. Now, in your standard and professional, you can change these to customizable discounts. So again, if it's something that you haven't used or want to use, we've got webinars and standalone webinars on how you can adjust things within your stock. But you could essentially do a customizable discount in global changes for a wide variety of products or customers. It's the same. There we have it. So just another thing for you to think about, really, and for you to look at. So let me go back to our slides. Right here, there we have it. You should be able to see them there. Brilliant. So what we looked at there was changes that can be made discounting products. You can do the product sales price, you can do the purchase price, you can do the product reorder levels, the product reorder quantity. You can also do customizable discounts. So your product reorder levels, we had a question in before. What are they? Essentially, if you've got 100 in stock and your products get down to 50 and you automatically set it to reorder, that's what your product reorder levels are. And let's say you wanted to change that figure from 50 to 100 in global changes, you can do that quite easily. Quantity, very much the same. If you get down to that 100 and it automatically orders 200 more, you could change that to order 300 more, for example. Got another question in here. If I change the prices, will it automatically update my price list? It will, yes, because you're making the change within 50. Good question from Isla there. Is there any further questions while we're on that section here, just before I go into the summary? Okay, if we do have questions, just keep typing them in and send them over. We will answer them. If I just go into the summary now, though, what we've looked at today is tools and global changes, very easily accessible. One thing, because we have still got time left, I'm going to quickly show you actually, is about the accessibility within Sage. So I'm going to quickly switch back to my screen just to show you this, because we have got a wee bit more time. I'm logged in as manager. Okay, so manager, we all know, can do anything. They've got the power to see everything, power to change everything. So when I click on tools and global changes, there it is. However, I may have a user or be setting up a user to do this. And if I wanted them to have access to global changes, I would have to grant them access to do that. And in order to do that, log in as manager, settings, user management, into users. We're absolutely fine with that, standard message. And I'm going to create a new user from scratch. So I'll say new. I'm going to make it a standard user and click continue. And let's say I am going to be setting up Amber. This level of access section is the section in which I would decide if they could see global changes or not. So I would look for the tools menu, because remember, it matches tools to tools. And there is global changes. A tick in that box means that user can now access global changes and make changes to multiple records. If I didn't want them to have access to that, and I'd set them up as administrator, they would automatically have it because we're granting them full level of access. On standard, you'd have to go through the process of gifting them access to it. So if you were to select all, but you thought, hang on a minute, I don't want them to make changes to multiple records at once, just untick that button. That's all it is. Once that's got a tick in it, then they're going to be able to make changes. And then simply save and close. And there we have it. I just thought I'd quickly show you that there because it's not as obvious as it seems sometimes within the user settings. Switch back to my slides now. There we have it. Superb, there we are. So tools, global changes, as easy as that. Why do we do it? We can change records quickly, nice and efficiently in order to do that. It saves you precious time and it saves you effort as well. So these are the reasons we would use the global changes wizard. Any further questions? Superb. Brilliant. That's a good question from Isla there. Do other users need to log out for me to use this option? I'm going to double check that one for you, Isla. I don't think that they do, because the changes automatically should be implemented whilst they log in, but I'll double check and get back to you on that one. I just want to be measure twice and cut once, as it were, and give you a definitive answer. So let me get back to you that. But I don't believe that they do have to be logged out, because it is just an update to a record rather than a user profile or an access or doing a backup or anything. But good question, keep them coming in. Any further questions at all? Superb. Can I use global changes to change my payment terms? No, you can't. As we went through the options before, they're the options that you can change, but you can change your payment terms in batch changes. And we've got a brilliant standalone webinar on that one. We've actually got a webinar with Michael tomorrow on batch changes. So please get registered for that at sage.co.uk/webinars, and Michael will go through all of that with you tomorrow. I am absolutely certain of it. Keep your questions coming in. I'm going to go through the next slide. So we've got the additional resources in front of you there. We've got the global changes article. So if you want to read up on it on our website, just click on that link that I'm going to be sending you. We've also got a link to the batch changes webinar. If you're not going to register for the one tomorrow, you may be off work. We've also got a link to the help center there as well. Superb. And we've got our free learning content in Sage University as well, which are bite-sized video guides. And obviously that'll help you learn about more of the features that are available in Sage 50 accounts. What's new as well, there's going to be some stuff on Copilot there, which is a very exciting program implementation, which is coming early next year. Any further questions from anybody there? Well, it looks like we're all done. So what I'm going to do is thank you very much for your attendance today. There's a couple of technical issues with the slides changing back and forth there, so thank you very much for your patience. Again, you're going to receive a feedback form after this. If you could fill it in for me, that would be wonderful. Other than that, just to thank you all again and thank Jackie for being on standby for me. Superb. I'm going to close the webinar there. If you do need anything further, just get in touch. Have a good week. Bye for now.